from the station that's working for you. You're watching Fox 4 News at 6.
2 Lee Summit daycares are closed now, one day after prosecutors charged the woman who owns them and her 18-year-old son. I'm Lauren Halifax.
And I'm John Holt. One woman says she tried to report the daycare 2 years ago for a different issue, but she's still shocked to hear that the owner of Little Learners in Lee Summit and her son are charged in a child sex abuse case. Fox 4 Sheree Honeycutt live at Little Learners tonight with reaction you'll see only on Fox 4. Sheree.
John and Lauren, the mom I spoke with says when the incident happened with her daughter, she took her immediately out of Little Learner. With yesterday's news, she's hoping a lot more kids will have better care. It's shocking for Heather Bryant to see the owner of Little Learners in Lee Summit arrested, along with her son.
I believed in my heart of all hearts that something would happen and that maybe that was just a tip-off to a future event, which never want to wish this upon anyone's kids, but, you know, I think with me bringing it to their attention, it might have.
Bryant says she didn't know 18-year-old Joseph Hammerly, but she has a history with his mother and daycare owner, Emily. Bryant says her daughter went to Little Learners for about a year around 2017.
You don't know what you don't know. If this is your only child and they're going to daycare for the first time, you just, again, do what you need to do. It was a positive referral.
Everything was fine, she says, for a while until her daughter confided in her.
There was an incident with another child, and it was another girl in her classroom, and my daughter came home that night and was very explicit. She's 2 years old, or was 2 years old at the time.
She says she went immediately to Hammerly with the information, but Bryant says Hammerly brushed it off.
The response was very defensive and very just almost like, oh, that's not a big deal. Kids tell stories all the time. And the owner gave an example of like her kid saying something that didn't happen. But, you know, as a parent, that's not at all the reaction that you want. You want a source of empathy.
Bryant says she reported the information to the state of Missouri. She says she also told police, neither able to conclude anything because there were no cameras in the bathroom.
It was really discouraging. Like, it was really hard to hear that because, again, I knew that she was not lying, but on the same token, it felt discouraging to the other kids that may have been a victim to something like this.
Police haven't said if there are more alleged victims of Joseph Hammerly. He's expected in court on August 8th. His mother is awaiting a court date. Sheree Honeycutt, Fox 4 News.
The heat remains a big concern tonight.
Yeah, that excessive heat warning still in effect. Joe Loria still keeping an eye on the rather colorful maps tonight.
Yeah, right. A lot of fuchsia showing up on our map behind me. Deep pink, depending on your television. But boy, I tell you what, we're not alone. From Chicago to Omaha to Wichita to Concordia to Hastings, Springfield, the Cape, up towards St. Louis, it is hot everywhere. Lots of 90s, if not 100-degree heat. So far today, Lawrence, second day in a row, 100 there. KCI so far around 95, out towards Excelsior Springs around 95 as well. Warrensburg, that sensor looks a little wrong. It's been much warmer than 81 degrees. Meanwhile, across our area, look at these heat index values, somewhere between 105 and 110 degrees. Upper 80s by 10, upper 70s by 6 o'clock in the morning. But a break is coming. We're going to time out that break coming up in just about 10 minutes. John.
Okay, Joe, thanks. That scorching summer sun can certainly be tough on those who have to work outside. KC water crews have been out all day, for example, doing necessary maintenance and repairs. Fox 4's Kara Mashik live at Truman and Hardesty tonight with how those crews are keeping cool. Kara, how are you keeping cool?
I had to pull the hair back, John. It's getting hot and sweaty out here. You know, it might sound like a dream to work around water all day, especially when it is this stinking hot, but boy, these guys have it tough for sure. They're out on the asphalt, they're drilling holes in the ground. In this case right here, they're actually working to repair a water main that broke open. It's issues like this, water main breaks, leaks, and things that happen with sanitary sewer service lines. They do not take a break even when it's hot. So neither do the KC water crews. They're trying to keep things running for all of us so that we have water and sewer services still going. Today, crews are out doing some surface defect inspections, looking for the cause of an issue that happened in a roadway to see if it could be from a sewer problem. Crews take plenty of precautions when it's very hot, including extra breaks and lots of water to drink while they get the job done in this summer sun.
If you feel the heat taking over, then take a break, cool off, and then we'll get right back to it.
And that's important because many of these jobs are not quick. These guys have been out here for a couple of hours. The crews that you saw there working earlier on that surface defect, those kinds of jobs take at least an hour to get done. So certainly the crews are glad when they do finish the job and can finish up and go inside. I'll be happy for that as well. Kara Mashik, Fox 4 News.
Overland Park-based Sprint and T-Mobile could face a lawsuit from the Justice Department. Reuters is reporting if the wireless carriers don't wrap up their agreement to sell some assets by the end of next week, the Justice Department will sue to block their merger. In order to win the Justice Department's approval for the $26 billion deal, both companies agreed to some concessions. That includes selling Boost Mobile. A group of attorneys general filed a lawsuit to block the merger.
Right now in Kansas City, Kansas, friends and family of a deli owner shot and killed are gathering to remember him. A visitation for 62-year-old Dennis Edwards taking place until 9 tonight at Larkin and Garcia Funeral Home. Edwards died in a shooting at his corner market and deli last week. 42-year-old Lachelle Day also died in that domestic dispute incident, apparently a suspect charged in both of their murders.
A Chiefs fan will have to pay up for shining a laser pointer during the AFC Championship game at Arrowhead. 64-year-old Dwayne Morgan pleaded guilty to disturbing the peace. He shined a green laser pointer at Tom Brady, the Patriots quarterback, during that game back in January. By pleading guilty, he avoids jail time. He has to pay a $500 fine.
You probably know Cobb Point Park, right? The popular world's longest canoe race begins there every year. It's got great views of downtown Kansas City, Missouri. But did you know there's one man who was the visionary behind that historic park? Mike Caldwell. He died 3 weeks ago, and this weekend his family and friends will host a private memorial in his honor. Fox 4's Nicole D'Antonio live now with the future of Cobb Point Park. Nicole?
And you said it, this park absolutely known for the beautiful views of the skyline, especially looking at the sunset. But, you know, while a lot of people might realize the history of this park, they may not realize the history of the one man who dedicated his life to making this park happen.
Cobb Point is a park where history meets beauty.
Putting it here at the point, yeah, everybody loves to come down here and take their picture by it.
It's also a point of pride for the Caldwell family.
He loved to bring groups down here and walk them through the park and tell them all about the history. That's why this is so special.
Mike Caldwell's vision for the park started in 2002 when it was nothing more than a construction site.
This was a weedy mess. We didn't have this rock work, we didn't have these paths.
But little by little, and step by step, Mike made Cobb Point into the park it is today.
Do you feel your husband's presence?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. He loved this park. He was here almost every day.
And now his family says it's a fitting place to celebrate his life 3 weeks after he suddenly passed away from pneumonia.
Well, on Saturday night, we're having Mike's celebration of life, mostly just letting people share stories about Mike because he was a very loyal friend.
Many people remember his historical programs, dressing up as one of the original explorers.
He has a Lewis and Clark, his uniform for Patrick Gass, and he has a period rifle.
And with the silhouette of Lewis and Clark, the Caldwell family says his impact will live on in the legacy he leaves behind.
And as for the future of this park, if you would like to make an impact on it, you can contact Friends of Cobb Point Park, and we did put that link on our website, fox4kc.com. Nicole D'Antonio, Fox 4 News.
Nicole, thanks. The Jackson County Board of Equalization did not vote today on a proposal to cap property assessment increases. The board says it needs more information. The county executive late today said the county will cooperate. Preston Smith, who represents Blue Springs Schools on the board, wants to reduce assessed value increases to no more than 14%. County Executive Frank White opposes capping tax values, calling the proposal arbitrary and full of legal issues that undermine the state-mandated duty to determine true market values.
Having said that, I respectfully state that your proposal is incomplete. Nowhere in your proposal that we've seen do you address the impact of implementing what you propose.
Both the county's assessment department and Preston Smith will have 10 days now to show the board how the proposed cap might affect tax equity, collections, and efforts to make assessed values more closely reflect property sales.
New jobs coming to Kansas City, but not without some controversy. How the Department of Agriculture is defending its move.
And a new report finds a Metro County is a hotbed for pain pills, but there's a catch. You're watching Fox 4 News at 6.